Rappie. Welcome to what some are calling the next John Alomu of YouTube rugby channels. No international rugby this past weekend, and what a come down from round 3 of that tournament. We had to make do with Super Rugby and Northern Club competitions. Despite some of the fun and games, it did not scratch the itch. So I finally got to watch some Super Rugby this weekend, and man, it did spark some envy seeing those people play in front of crowds. Those people. What does that mean? On Friday, the Chiefs lost to the Highlanders at home. This was their 10th loss in a row. The Chiefs haven't won a match in Super Rugby since March 2020. Yikes! It's really tough to pin down what's wrong with the Chiefs. In any other rugby league in the world, they would probably be putting teams to the sword. But New Zealand is the Mordor of rugby. If you ain't a ruthless team filled with breakers, you will lose every week. The Highlanders started the game slow, but once that little bastard Aaron Smith came on the field, their plan really came together. Their winger, Jonah Nareki, then went super sane and scored a hat-trick in a phenomenal performance. Man, he really looks like the next John Alomu. He even has the right name. In the Sunday game, the Crusaders did what they do, and they pummeled the Hurricanes by 33-16. It was a close game at first. The Hurricanes were leading 0-6 until Adi Savia, their captain, got yellow carded. 10 minutes later when he came back, it was 19-6. I mean, Crusaders, could you please just stop? It's been 20 years with these hammerings. Hooker Cody Taylor continued his fine form and scored 2 tries, running 40-meter bursts for fun. Certainly, New Zealand has found their next John Alomu. The man is unstoppable. If Super Rugby Aotearoa is all hyperreal, saturated colors and noise, then Super Rugby AU is the darker, grittier, desaturated reboot. Both matches in Australia finished as nail-biters over the weekend, but the quality of game was certainly different. The first game was very cool, the Force clawing and fighting their way to their first win since 2017. They came from 13-0 down against the Waratahs to win 16-20. Now I must be remembering it incorrectly, but I think the Waratahs knocked it on like 500 times in this game. Every time they tried an attacking move, it felt like the ball just flew forward and the Force got let off the hook. The Waratahs' 16 turnovers to the Force's 10 ultimately, I think, led to the Force winning. The Tars have lost like 15 international players. Their pain will continue for a little while longer. The Brumbies versus Rebels game was a lot of fun to watch. Matt Tumua of the Rebels scored all 24 of their points with penalty kicks. Cool, I guess. Very avant-garde. The Brumbies went the more traditional route and decided to score tries. 3 of them, in fact. But even though one of the tries was sumptuous, we're all thinking about that late game penalty. It's a setup as old as the game itself. 24 all and time up on the clock. Up steps Lonergan. Replacement scrum off for the Brumbies. His mission? Kick a 55-meter penalty to win the game. Truly, the Brumbies have found the next John Alomu. Excuse me. Now I know a bunch of people played club rugby in the north this weekend, but the real business of the Six Nations keeps me too distracted to care. That is a personal failure, okay? I'm working on it. Round 4 of the Six Nations is happening this weekend though. The newly hardcore Wales are taking on a porous Italy. Joyful Scotland will be trying to keep their smiles against the emo Irish. But in between those 2 games, we get England versus France. I'm vibrating thinking about it. Just think of the news articles, the opinion pieces, the ref bashing and the slow-mo video analysis that this match will conjure. All I can think about is seeing that French team back on the field against England, along with all the stereotypical animosity between England and France. Also the little Eddie Jones quips. This is going to be the next John Alomu of rugby matches. Sorry for making that joke over and over. I now see how constantly bringing it up kind of makes it lose all its meaning. I hope you'll forgive me. Anyways, like, subscribe and share. See you next week. Bye.